Welcome to the Lifestyle PA podcast, where we talk about all things women's health and lifestyle to help you become the healthiest and happiest version of yourself. Hi, everyone. This is Beth with the Lifestyle PA. I just wanted to hop on today to introduce myself and what my plan is with the podcast, what I'm hoping to achieve here, and give you a little bit of my background and kind of what led me to opening the Lifestyle PA. So I first started my journey as a registered dietitian. This was back in 2009 in Connecticut. And as a dietitian, I practiced both inpatient settings, so in the hospital doing a lot of medical nutrition therapy, as well as outpatient. So educating people on just eating healthier, helping them with their diabetes, high cholesterol, any GI disorders, food intolerances. And I loved it. And even during that time, did a little bit of outpatient consulting through a private practice of mine. I then realized quickly that I wanted to be able to do more for my patients. And as I started reviewing kind of their health history, that was all intriguing to me, kind of, okay, well, how is this related? And really, how can we get to the root cause of it? And I just wanted to be able to help them on a higher level. So in 2013, I started PA school at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. And that was a very rigorous 27-month program. And after graduating, I very happily took a position in critical care. So at the medical intensive care unit at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut, where I worked inpatient for 4 years, saw so much, worked with the best colleagues, learned from the best physicians, just really developed this wealth of knowledge and a lot of patient experience in interacting with families. Then after about 4 years, I have 2 kids who are now 5 and 7, and I just want a little bit better balance with them. So instead of doing like the nights, weekends, holidays, and 13 to 14-hour shifts, I transitioned to an outpatient role in pulmonary medicine, sleep medicine, and doing critical care follow-ups, which again was amazing. You kind of got to see the other side of it in the outpatient setting. And then after doing outpatient for a couple of years, branched into more cosmetic dermatology, aesthetic, and wellness field. And that was for about 3 years. Again, worked with some amazing colleagues, had amazing patients, and learned a lot. And all throughout the way was completely utilizing my medical knowledge, my nutrition degree. I mean, it is truly at the foundation of everything, of every health condition. So throughout kind of that aesthetic journey, that season of my career, which again was great for the super flexible schedule with having 2 young kids, because let's face it, like balancing working and being a mom is literally the hardest job in the world. So I started having these gut feelings of, I want and need to be doing more. Like, this is not where I'm meant to be. I have always been so passionate about women's health, nutrition, and just getting to the root cause of everything. Because I'll be honest, over the past 15 years of healthcare experience, and granted, I was at the extreme of it, right? Like in the medical ICU and critical care. So I saw the worst of the worst. Like, these people were coming in critical condition, dying, whether it be, and I was specifically in the medical ICU. So these were conditions like uncontrolled diabetes, really high blood pressure, pneumonias, septic infections. And honestly, 99% of them, because it wasn't trauma, it was medical ICU. So 99% of these conditions that these patients came in with were preventable, completely preventable. And I saw way too many lives be lost way too young, and have had numerous conversations with families about tragic losses that could have been preventable. I could talk about our healthcare industry for hours, and I know many of the physicians that I've had conversations with share the same thought process, and they've even seen much, much more than I have. It's frustrating to know that it is a business, like it is a just profitable industry. And as much as we'd like to believe that we have the support and the resources to gain the knowledge and learn what we should to optimize our health so we can prevent said health conditions, we don't. And to be honest, we have so many more factors working against us than for us. If you even take like our food industry, all of that is business. So what I've kind of been frustrated along the way, especially over these past 15 years, has been I can't possibly educate you effectively in a 15-minute visit. Because remember, as providers, there's a million steps to the process. You've all been there. Like you get to the doctor's office, you fill out your paperwork. That's all time consuming, right? And half the time because of traffic, we're late 5 or 10 minutes. And then the MA has to do the vitals and reconcile your medications. And there's a million steps where ultimately you're probably face to face with your provider for 5 to 10 minutes. And then they have to chart all of that where you have to meet certain documentation just because of insurance requirements for billing, right? So the parts that are actually effective get missed in a likely once a year visit. It's our job as healthcare providers and professionals to educate patients. We were trained for that. We took an oath for that. It's why the majority of us are in this field. And I know I'm not alone in this as a provider. You just get so burnt out from everything being dictated to, nope, you have X amount of minutes to see these patients. You have to document XYZ. You have to follow up with this. You have to provide a referral here. You have to call this patient back. There's a million other little tasks that take away so much of the time that you could be taking to provide education that would actually be life-changing for your patient. And so it's hard because you have a woman come in who is clearly under a lot of stress. Her blood pressure is through the roof, even though she's on 1 or 2 medications. You run her annual blood work and, oh, she's got high cholesterol and the bad cholesterol, and just thinks, oh yeah, it runs in my family. Like there's nothing I can do about it but manage with a medication. Yet doing like a 24-hour diet recall actually reveals, wow, there are some really simple things you can intervene on here to actually make a meaningful improvement. All of these little things that if you just had more time with them and they had the time to invest into learning some simple, fundamental lifestyle behavior changes that you can help them work on. So what I've come to realize from my experience as an outpatient provider, and honestly, my experience as a patient myself, which led me to open the practice. So it was not only my frustration as a healthcare provider, seeing the lack of time being spent counseling patients on these lifestyle changes that truly could be so effective into preventing these chronic disease, which some patients think they're stuck with, whether it's because of genetics or they don't have the time to manage it, not realizing that, hey, like yourself 10 years from now is really going to wish you address this, because the amount you'll be suffering in 10 years, the amount of money you have spent on medications, the side effects that you'll be experiencing from said medications, and the lack of things that you'll be able to enjoy and actually participate in at that stage of your life, it's going to be too late. And there is nothing worse than regret. These changes can be so simple. Like if they're customized for you, they're individualized, they're truly effective. It wasn't only my frustrations as a healthcare provider feeling this with my patients. It was also when I was a patient myself. So when I recently moved to California and I had to kind of reestablish care with all of my medical professionals, I had a primary care visit, and through a couple of visits, I was the one asking for specific things. And when it came to the routine blood work, asking to add a couple of labs on that are really like high yield information. And I'm a pretty healthy person. I do have hypothyroidism. I had atypical PCOS, or so they said, when I had to go through IVF to have my kids. And that's really it. Like, fortunately, otherwise, very healthy. And I'm very active. So when I started experiencing shortness of breath and feeling really fatigued, after giving it about a week or so, kind of chalking it up to a virus because healthcare providers are by far the worst patients, I was like, okay, this isn't right. Like, you know your body best, and don't ever forget to advocate for yourself for that reason. So I was like, you know what? Something's not right. And so I asked for additional lab work, specifically, those signs, just because from my healthcare background, knowing like, could definitely be an iron deficiency anemia. Low iron can cause that, like fatigue, shortness of breath. So I also wanted to make sure my thyroid was fine, which it was, but my blood work comes back and I don't receive any communication. I'm just on the lookout for my results in the portal. Because I know how to interpret them, right? So I'm looking, and my ferritin, which is the storage of iron. So you've all seen it probably, what's called your hemoglobin and hematocrit. And if those counts are low, that's typically what they call anemia, right? And normally it's iron deficient anemia. So ferritin, though, especially in people who are very active, should be checked. That's your iron storage. So when that number drops really low, that actually is diagnostic of iron deficiency anemia, because it's your hemoglobin and hematocrit just haven't caught up to that level yet. There has been more research to show that ideally women's ferritin level should be above 75. And there's a lot of research to show that if it falls below that, and especially if they're symptomatic, that actually even warrants a transfusion. Because it is very, very difficult to improve your iron stores with just supplements, because so much interacts with it, which we're going to do a whole other episode on. My level was 13. So a clear explanation when all of the other labs were okay, that, wow, that for sure could be the reason why, like, I'm fatigued, I'm short of breath. And the other odd thing was, I'm like, wait, I was fasting. Why is my blood sugar high? And my hemoglobin A1C is actually borderline for a diabetic. I'm like, this does not make any sense to me. So of course, I get a message back from the provider saying, labs are okay, nothing to do. And I was livid. So I quoted studies. I wrote her back explaining my concern for the ferritin level, asking about my blood sugars. With the blood sugars and what's called the A1C, that 3-month average of your blood sugars, which is how you diagnose diabetes, essentially, I was told just borderline, nothing to do, just keep eating healthy and exercising. So I was even more infuriated. And then regarding the iron, she's like, just start on an iron supplement. No education as to the amount, how many times a day I should be taking it, what form is better absorbed than the other, what time of day should I take it? Do I avoid taking it with certain things because it blocks absorption? All of those things I know as a dietitian, but if this is how patients are being managed, there are massive things being missed. Massive. And it just infuriated me. And I know over the past 15 years as a healthcare professional, when I would have family and friends come to me all the time and text me and be like, hey, can you take a peek at my lag work? Can you take a peek at this for me? I'd be happy to, because that's what I love to do. But it is shocking to me as a healthcare provider how many things weren't addressed, or even just a 5-minute email or phone call saying, hey, I noticed this, I recommend XYZ. And granted, many medical schools up until today, which it's still a very low percentage, they didn't get an ounce of nutrition education when they were in medical school. So I had many experiences with family and friends where things were just really frustrating to me. And it wasn't until this past summer where it finally I broke. And I was like, this is what I need to be doing. And I found there are so many health conditions that can be prevented with simple lifestyle changes. Having someone guide you and provide you this information and completely tailor it to you, because let's face it, every woman is totally different. Our risk factors are different, genetics, our lifestyle, what we value the most. Like some women are like, I love my glass of red wine once a week. Other people are like, I don't care about that. Other women are like, listen, I refuse to give up my huge Sunday family dinner tradition where we eat XYZ. That's okay. There can be balance achieved and you can be healthy. You can have the best of both worlds. That's actually what makes it sustainable. All of these, for the past 20 years, it's disgusting how many quick fixes they claim, and there has not been a single quick fix that has been sustainable. People literally just throw away their money, their time that was spent on it, the energy, because they sure weren't feeling good during anything that they tried during that time. I've been wanting to do this for years. My goal has always been to do this and help other women. So that it was actually a couple of years ago, I was first introduced to lifestyle medicine, and I was fascinated by it because I'm like, yes, this all makes total sense, right? Because there's no quick fix. There's never just one area to focus on. This is your health. Like you need a full body, whole person approach. It can't just be, yep, eat this, not that, and you'll be good. Do this exercise 3 times a week and you'll be good. No, we are way more complex than that, and everything works together. And it's one of the reasons I love the field of medicine and science, because we never stop learning. There's so much emerging research to prove that everything is related. So what lifestyle medicine focuses on are these essential pillars of health that you need to address to work together to achieve your optimal health. And so aside from the 2 big ones that everyone is fully aware of, is the importance of nutrition and physical activity or movement, it really emphasizes the importance of the quality of restorative sleep, stress management, mindfulness and positive psychology, and the importance of social connection. All of this influences our hormones. It's fascinating. And influencing hormones and factors that affect our weight. They affect how much fat we're carrying around our abdomen. They affect our brain health and risk of Alzheimer's. It's a whole body approach. And I couldn't be happier to be here to support that. That is what I truly believe will help people achieve their healthiest version and sustain it, right? I mean, it's our culture to just want a quick fix and not spend time, spend the least amount of money on things and get results. And like, this is your life. Like, this is your one life, your body, your health. And I can't tell you how many times I would hear women in their 50s or 60s say, oh, if I had just addressed that 10 years ago. Oh, if I had known that. Now's your chance. Now's your chance. So really what I'm here to do, so in the podcast, my goal here is just for it to be simply a platform to get information out there. I plan on doing some episodes on various topics where I kind of just provide information. And then alternating with, I already have a few amazing guest speakers lined up for you. One for women's specific heart health, another healthcare provider in sleep medicine, another one in GI, and then an OBGYN who can talk to us a little bit about the huge seasons of life for us, perimenopause and menopause, which I do plan on focusing a heavy amount on. So that's my goal. I am hopeful that this will just be kind of a relaxed conversational environment. My goal is to keep it around 20 minutes-ish, just because, again, as women, moms, working women, we don't have much more time than that. So maybe in the car, throw it on while you're doing laundry, and just a little bit of information each week can hopefully turn this into sustainable lifestyle behavior changes. I would absolutely love to hear of any questions or topics that are of interest to you, anything related to women's health. So thank you for being here. I look forward to connecting with you all. And I am on Instagram. I'll put my username in the episode notes for you, but it's _lifestyle_PA. And also more information on my website, www.thelifestylepa.org. And if you're interested in what a personalized 3-month program would look like for you to address all of those areas, reach out to me, whether it be through Instagram, the website. There's a lot of information on there. No two women are the same. And we all have different battles and different challenges and different schedules, which is why I fully believe that's why I didn't just come up with just an online course, follow this. No, because as women, for it to be effective too, you need that support. And that's why I'm here. So in addition to the hour consultation and the 30-minute Zoom meetings every other week where we truly connect and kind of dive into different things, that is one major reason I offer unlimited support. It's through a secure messaging system called Slack, and you can text me any questions 24/7, and that's what I'm here for. It's not like you need to schedule another visit and I can fit you in 3 weeks and then bill your insurance for that. And this is a very different platform. And for those of you who are ready to invest in becoming the healthiest and happiest version of yourself in 3 months, I'm here for you. So thank you all so much for listening and for your support. And tune in next week where we will actually have Elizabeth Peckham, a nurse practitioner specializing in cardiac health, talk to us a little bit about the number one killer of women, which is heart disease, and share some tips and advice for us there. Thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of the week. Take care. If you're ready to invest in yourself to become the healthiest and happiest version of you, head over to my website, thelifestylepa.org, to learn more about my 3-month lifestyle program, where I offer a very personalized, whole-body approach to optimize your health. In addition to your 1-hour initial consultation, we have 30-minute bi-weekly Zoom visits. You receive my 45-page lifestyle handbook, lab work interpretation, unlimited communication and support through a secure messaging platform, 3 months of meal plans tailored to your needs, and guidance on mastering the 6 pillars of lifelong health: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, positive psychology, and social connections. I can't wait to connect with you and help you to truly optimize your health once and for all.